the Wright brothers' first flight in 1903, air travel has come a long way. Though there are rare accidents, traveling by plane is much safer than traveling by car. And more people are taking to the skies than ever before. But some aircraft are more than a simple means of transportation. Many airplanes are so large they dwarf virtually everything else in the sky. Long before Boeing's series of unfortunate PR faux pas and fatal accidents, they were setting numerous records with a celebrated line of passenger jets. One of the world's two main manufacturers of commercial passenger jets, along with Airbus, they have been striving for decades to create the confluence of a maxed-out jumbo jet and a comfortable flying experience. The 747-8 is the largest 747 version, the largest commercial aircraft built in the United States, and the longest operational passenger aircraft in the world. Only in production since 2010, production for this aircraft has been severely backed up, with airlines putting in orders for years in the future. And of course, the owners of these airlines must have extremely deep pockets, because every plane costs more than $400 million. In terms of specs, it's 76 meters long, has a wingspan of 68 meters, and has an empty weight of 220,000 kilograms. It's also been adopted as a toy for the ultra-wealthy. For example, the Qatari royal family bought one just to entertain guests in luxury while en route to faraway destinations. The plane features a series of lounges, dining rooms, and master bedrooms. Speaking of Boeing's rival, Airbus, we have their claim to fame. The ultra-massive Airbus 380A, one of the most popular planes in the world. It boasts 500,000 commercial flights carrying over 190 million passengers. This includes more than 300 commercial flights per day, which take off or land around the world every 2 minutes. Unlike most planes, the 380 is a double-decker, meaning it's big enough that 2 levels of passengers are stacked on top of one another. Each seat has its own TV screen, meaning that every passenger can choose if and how they want to be entertained during the long flight. Each plane costs just shy of $450 million to produce. This flying skyscraper measures 72 meters in length and weighs a startling 277,000 kilograms. Powered by Rolls-Royce engines, these planes are considered highly luxurious, and most sell their models to high-end airlines like Lufthansa and Emirates. Antonov AN-225 Maria, codenamed Cossack by NATO, is a super heavy strategic airlift cargo aircraft. The AN-225 is the world's longest and heaviest airplane ever to take to the air. The first and only AN-225 was completed in 1988. After successfully fulfilling its Soviet military missions, it was mothballed for 8 years. It was then refurbished and reintroduced, and is in commercial operation with Antonov Airlines carrying oversized payloads. The airlifter holds the absolute world records for an airlifted single-item payload of 189,980 kilograms and an airlifted total payload of 253,820 kilograms. Though it is far from the heaviest plane ever built, the H-4 Hercules is a unique plane with an amazing story. Nicknamed the Spruce Goose for its building material, the Hercules was built during the Second World War to transport troops into battle. Only there was one problem. With a shortage of aluminum and other traditional building materials, Hughes Aircraft Company turned to alternative means to build their fleet. There was only one prototype made, and the aircraft made only one brief flight on November 2, 1947, but the Hercules H-4 was constructed entirely from wood. It never became a viable travel option, but the Hercules gained a few distinctions in its short career in the military. The Hercules is the largest flying boat ever built, and it had the largest wingspan of any aircraft that had ever flown until the scaled composite Stratolaunch first flew on April 13, 2019. After all of the effort put into the construction of the Spruce Goose, especially its $23 million budget, its first and last flight would last just 26 seconds. Despite what could be seen as a failure, this plane is one of a kind and lives on in the memories of aviation enthusiasts all over the world. It had an empty weight of 113,399 kilograms, a length of 66.65 meters, and a wingspan of 97.54 meters. A new contender in the world of aviation, the Stratolaunch is officially the world's largest plane. The brainchild of Microsoft billionaire Paul Allen, this behemoth has an empty weight of 226,796 kilograms, a length of 73 meters, and a wingspan of 117 meters. Long considered a pipe dream, the Stratolaunch came to fruition in 2019. The massive airplane, which has a wingspan bigger than a football field and is designed to launch rockets from the air, took off on its maiden test flight from the Mojave Air and Spaceport in Mojave, California on April 13, 2019. Evan Thomas, the scaled composites test pilot who flew the plane, said the flight went very well. "I honestly could not have hoped for more on a first flight, especially of an airplane of this complexity and this uniqueness," he said in a brief media call after the flight. "Obviously, a plane of this size will pave the way for innovation in the world of aviation."